Go should never be let in my fucking sight again.
Yo, I just left the movies, and when I say Never Let Go just pisses me the hell off, so you mean to tell me?
So I just got done watching Never Let Go, and wow.
What's up, guys? So in today's video, we're going to be going over Never Let Go. I just seen this movie right here, and it was actually a lot, or I guess a bit different than I originally thought it was going to be about, more or less, or kind of just went in ways I didn't actually think about when I first seen the trailer. So if you guys don't actually like, I guess what the movie's about, let me go ahead and show you the quick synopsis on this. So when an unspeakable evil takes over the world, the only protect for a mother and her twin sons is their house in strong bond. Needing to stay connected at all times, even tethering themselves with ropes, they must cling to one another and never let go. However, when one of the boys questions if the evil is real, the ties that bind them together are severed, triggering a terrifying fight for survival. And yeah, this movie started out crazy, like with the horror elements of it. So if you kind of just come in for something quick, if you just see it or you shouldn't see it, if you're a fan of horror movies or like horror thriller, I would definitely recommend watching this movie. I would recommend watching this movie without actually seeing any of the trailers or anything, kind of just coming into it blind. I've been kind of doing that lately on some of these movies, and I feel like it kind of just makes a movie, to me, feel even better. But yeah, I did like the movie. I'm not going to try to have this as a spoiler video. This should be spoiler free, so anybody should be able to watch this. Maybe if I get like enough views, I can start going over spoilers if I can freaking talk for this movie. But yeah, I did like it. Halle Berry is the main star of this. Let me go ahead and show you guys some of the images. But yeah, Halle Berry is the main star, and then the kids, her two sons, they did some excellent acting on here. I was impressed. Definitely impressed. I think Halle Berry did an excellent job as well as the mother. If you guys know Halle Berry, these movies, it seems like whenever she has kids, they always get lost or something along those lines. And yeah, it's some trouble with her kids again with her. So, kind of a little joke right there that I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are familiar with if you kind of have seen some of Halle Berry's recent videos or recent movies. But yeah, this kind of goes along with her having kids and, dealing with all that. Now, let's first kind of just go over the elements of the movie. Like, do I think they did a good job of, the premise and kind of how it executed at the end? I think it did for the most part. However, there were some conflicting things that kind of went on throughout the movie. You guys will probably see that, especially with the ending of the movie. They kind of make you think, okay, is this real? Is this not real? But it will keep you guessing. Really had me guessing. I wasn't for sure if what was going on was in her head or was it real. And they did, to me, they feel like they did a good job of keeping that up throughout the whole movie, which I was surprised about. I thought for sure, the first maybe 15, 20 minutes, I had it down, and it kind of had me guessing. Some of the different elements, again, not spoiling anything, but some of the different elements later on in the movie. And then kind of with the brothers and all that, their dynamic, I think was actually pretty good. I think I'm not even mad. I think they actually did a pretty good job on that. Music wise, I can't really remember or recall anything musically that I was like, oh wow, I like this song a lot. But I guess for the atmosphere and the horror elements and the thriller elements, they did a good job on that. I like how the voices kind of changed to some of the horror element side of things. So they did a great job there. Now, I will say for way they can improve this movie, I would also, again, maybe they have it kind of you guessing throughout, and maybe with that ending, I can't even talk about the ending, but maybe they had it in that way so people can talk about it. But I don't know. For me, I feel like having something that maybe more concrete would have been good for this movie. But then again, for that ending, it kind of actually makes me want to do a spoiler review so I can kind of talk about it with you guys. So I actually may end up doing maybe a part 2 talking about this. But on Reddit, I'm not on Reddit, on Rotten Tomatoes, if I can bring that up for you guys. Still kind of getting used to using the StreamYard for this. But on Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 61 and 54% for the, regular people or whatnot, or vice versa, which is actually kind of good for Rotten Tomatoes, actually. I was surprised it was 61%. I thought for sure it would probably be maybe 40-ish, maybe 30%. Just the way I feel like Rotten Tomatoes kind of rate movies and whatnot, and how reviewers do this for these type of movies. But surprisingly, they liked it. They liked it. So I mean, for the most part, over 50% and not 100%, but 61% is really actually pretty good for Rotten Tomatoes. But again, if you're looking for something like a horror thriller movie, kind of just doing some YOLO for the weekend. Maybe you want to watch it with somebody. I actually definitely recommend this movie. Let me look at some of the cast right here. If I recognize any of these people in the movie, yeah, the father. Okay. Maybe I don't recognize some of these people. Let me go ahead and go back to the screen here. But yeah, overall, I actually did enjoy the movie. Like, it really had me kind of going throughout the movie. I'm like, oh, how is this going to shift? Some of the, I guess, big moments in the movie, like, actually felt weight. I like that a lot. The acting was good. I liked the kids. I like how they were acting. I like how Halle Berry was acting. Even the dog. I think the dog did a great job as well. And I will say, like, going out of the movie, I was definitely satisfied. I did have a lot of questions still, but overall, I was definitely satisfied with the movie. So again, if you're looking for a movie, a quick horror thriller movie to see before Terrifier, perhaps, or maybe before Smile 2, I think this is actually probably a sleeper. I didn't see no trailers for this movie, which is crazy. Now, I don't really have like regular TV, so maybe on TV they were showing some of this. But like online, like they weren't showing this on YouTube or no other like streaming places where I was looking for this movie. And I was seeing a lot of other people saying they didn't see any trailers for this movie. So, hey, maybe if they had maybe more advertisements or whatnot, then hey, maybe the movie could have been talked about even more. I don't feel like a lot of people talking about this movie as much. I think it's like the third week or second week this movie came out. But I think it's pretty good. And again, this is like, again, for somebody who's looking for more of a horror, maybe a psychological thriller. If you're looking for like an action movie or something along those lines, definitely don't watch this movie. If you have looked like young kids, I would warn not to watch this movie unless you don't mind them watching like horror thriller movies. Then hey, if you don't mind, then yeah. But this movie starts out crazy. Like it starts out like, oh wow, I did not know it would be this horror or just like, like it's just scary, like I thought you're gonna like work up to it, but it starts out, it would get you like, oh wow, okay, you gotta stay focused on the movie like from the very beginning. But anyway, guys, if you haven't already, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and I will be seeing you guys in the next one.